Welcome to Room Service. I'm Sarah Richardson. Who says you have to wait to decorate until you find out whether it's a boy or a girl? We get a head start by transforming this home office into a nursery for our new arrival. Take a guess at which lighting will work best for a girl or a boy. Then we'll hammer together an innovative, versatile solution for a change table and see what a sister has in store for the new nephew or niece. We'll show you that decorating the nursery is a breeze when you're expecting the best, and it's only on Room Service. There are many changes involved in having a baby. One of the most important ones in this particular room is the fact that it's no longer going to be a home office or a catch-all. It's now about to become the nursery. Now, this room is on the north side of the house with a large window that has shutters on it. It's got high ceilings, they're 9 feet, which is a little bit unusual for the second floor of a house. It's going to provide a cozy backdrop for a baby's room, and there's just enough room for all of the basic elements we need. We're going to bring in a crib, we are going to paint an old dresser and turn it into a change table, and we'll even have room for a rocking chair and perhaps some storage. A decorative area rug will help to set the tone for this room, and a new wall color will give it a little bit of brightening and freshening up.
Well, my favorite colors have always been pink and green, which would make it very easy for us to have a girl. But given that we don't know whether it's going to be a boy or a girl, we've had to look at a neutral palette that would work for both.
Now, here's the exciting part about this room. Our client's sister happens to be a fantastic artist, so we are going to commission her to paint all of the furniture in the room for the baby.
So when Martha became pregnant, she had asked me specifically, with great joy, would you please do my room? Would you do the nursery for me? And of course I said that would give me great pleasure.
But here's the catch. We don't know yet whether it's a boy or a girl. There was some discussion about the artist being told the sex of the baby first, but who's kidding who? As if she could possibly keep this as a secret from her sister who's having the baby.
We knew that there was no way she could keep the secret from me. So we decided we would go with a neutral theme that would work in both cases, but wait to put the accent pieces and the real theme for boy or girl in after the baby was born.
So what we're thinking about starting with here is a very light sort of seafoam green bordering on a soft lakeside blue. This will allow us to take it in one of two directions, either garden inspired or lakeside inspired, once the baby is born. The exciting part is we'll start with an overall concept and then put those finishing touches on once baby arrives.
I think that's an interesting thing.
This one piece will make 52 layers.
Watch on mobile devices or the big screen. All for free. No subscription required.
If a baby could tell us exactly what they wanted for their very own space, what would it be? It would be a place to grow and explore while being nurtured and comforted. A cozy place that is a soft and welcoming haven filled with supple textures and smooth lines like the delicate curves of a perfect little creation. It's a fresh and exciting environment with an optimistic outlook on each and every new day and the adventures that lie ahead. Are you starting to wonder exactly what I was thinking about when I was designing the nursery? Well, don't worry, I'm not thinking about putting a fringed lampshade in our nursery. But I've sort of got most of the main elements taken care of. Crib, that's easy, it's just gonna be plain white. The dresser, it's already there, and I'm just gonna make a change table that goes on top of it. I've ordered a custom rocking chair, I've ordered the drapes, and so now it's just about all the little accessories and filling it in. Now, lighting, that's a key thing. I often find that the lighting, an overhead light fixture in a baby's room is sort of dull and boring. So I thought, why not have some fun with it? The only thing that's going to make this a bit more difficult is the fact that we still don't know if it's a boy or a girl. And that would make my job easier. Instead of picking one light fixture, I'm going to see if I can find two. So, first things first, if it's a girl, because I actually think it's going to be a girl. If it's a girl, I'm thinking maybe a chandelier. I always like the look of a painted iron chandelier in a little girl's room. It's pretty, it makes you think that you're a princess. I never had one in my room as a kid, but would have liked one, I'm sure. So here's this one. It's all painted. It doesn't have crystals, which I think is a good thing. We don't want it to be too sophisticated or too mature, but it's got hits of pale pink, some soft blue, and I think that you really can do something like this in a hanging fixture, especially if you have the clearance on the ceiling. I have to admit the scale is a bit bigger than I would have thought, but when you're looking at vintage fixtures, you really have to take what you find, and this doesn't have too much of a Palm Beach flavor to it, which I also sometimes find. Anyway, I think that we can try this out and we'll see, and it'll be a pretty look. Now, what if it's a boy? Well, I think if it's a boy, we could go with something like this one here. It's just a milk glass fixture, pretty simple, vintage fixture, and that'll also give a neat look to the room. It'll be far more streamlined, nothing fussy. I wouldn't want anybody being mad at me when he grows up for giving him too pretty a light fixture. But either way, whether it's a girl or a boy, I think these are two great options that could work for our nursery.
Next on Room Service, we're assembling a practical solution that turns a dresser into a custom change table.
If you're planning a nursery, a change table will be on your list of necessary items. But you may already have a piece of furniture that could work instead of going out and purchasing a change table. In our case, our client already has an old dresser that we are going to outfit with a change table topper to allow it to be used both as a change table now and as a dresser later on. Here's what I've done so far. I'm starting out with a sheet of 3/4 inch thick plywood. I've had this cut with 1/4 inch extra allowance on all four sides. And then I am using 1 by 6 inch poplar here as the frame that will go around the change table. You need to allow a 3/4 inch set down beneath the base of the change table so that the topper will stay snugly in place and won't slide off. In this case, I have already cut all of the boards using a miter saw. Now, a miter saw will mean that I can get a really clean corner joint. And I would suggest using a radial arm miter saw in order to cut these. If you don't have one, maybe you can get them cut where you buy the lumber or else enlist the help of a friend. It's a little bit awkward at times, so this is a great project to do with someone else. You'll also notice that I've added a decorative molding detail here, which just gives it a little bit more presence. First, I glued the detailing on, and then I've used nails to also hold it in place. I need to countersink these nails instead of bashing them in with a hammer so that I don't cause any damage to the trim. Next, I'll fill them with a little bit of wood filler. And then I simply need to assemble the table topper. Now, in order to make life a little bit easier, I have drawn on a guide of 3/4 inches, which represents the thickness of the wood, and the 3/4 inch set down that will hold it in place. I'd suggest pre-starting your nails just to help hold things in place if you're doing this on your own. Okay, now I can set it in place. I'm going to use my 3/4 inch piece of wood as a guide to help me line things up. And I will clamp it on either end. Great. You'll want to make sure that you use carpenter's glue and put a bead of glue, looks like I'm ready for new carpenter's glue, all along the edge of the plywood and also on any mitered cuts. Once you have everything lined up, you can start with one nail at one end. Then, just as we did with the trim, we want to countersink all of our nails. I've got 3 sides attached, and just to show you how it's all coming together, you can see the 3/4 inch overhang of the sides, and this is what will ultimately hold the change table in place. I've been countersinking and filling with wood filler as I go along, and of course using my glue. Now, if there are any women out there wondering why the glue and why the wood filler, well, let's just say that wood filler and glue are sort of like lipstick and rouge, very necessary. Last thing I have to do is attach my final side, then it needs to be primed, and this will be going off to our client's sister, who will be painting this and turning it into part of the whimsical theme of the entire nursery.
Many ancient civilizations believed that gems were heaven sent. A different stone was worn for each month until the 1700s, when Polish gem traders introduced the custom of wearing your own birthstone year-round. Exactly which gem that might be and its meaning varied widely from one culture to another. To simplify things, an official list was created in North America in 1912. Our June baby's birthstone is pearl, which signifies good health, an auspicious quality for this family's new little gem. Coming up on room service, we get a peek at how fresh the nursery is looking and see what Martha's sister has in store for the baby.
I hope you're feeling surprised when you see this room and notice how much larger it's starting to feel now that we've reconfigured it as the nursery. We've moved out all of those old mismatched pieces of furniture, we've repainted them and freshened them up. The dresser, the side table have all been painted. We've also painted the walls. That builder's beige that was here before has been replaced by a whiter shade. It's still got a hint of cream in it just for some warmth, and it's called Seed Pearl. The ceiling is in a color that's called January Frost, which to me looks like the reflection of a pool on the ceiling, a pool or a lake. It's a really soft blue. We've also picked that up in the carpet, which is a chenille sort of mottled carpet with a velvet edging on it. Very soft. It'll be a great carpet for the baby to play on. Now you'll notice that we've decided to use this soft blue color throughout. This is our accent color that we've chosen because we felt that it would work well regardless of whether it's a boy or a girl. If it's a girl, we're going for flowers. If it's a boy, we're going to do a sort of lakeside theme. And that's an answer that we will have very shortly because this baby is about to arrive. Now, another thing I've brought in here is the rocking chair. And this is something that I had made. I've chosen to go with a slip-covered effect here. We've got a sort of creamy white fabric with a large-scale blue check. And something that I want to point out is if you're thinking about getting a slip-covered piece of furniture, make sure that you choose an upholstery fabric for the underbody as well as for the slip cover. This means that if the cover ever comes off, you end up having 2 looks, not just one. The other thing is to make sure that you pre-wash all of your fabric first so that it won't shrink. This cover can easily be thrown into the washing machine and into the dryer if it ever needs to be. Now, a few other things in here. Here's the change table that I made. It's now been all primed and it's ready to go. The only thing left to happen in this room is to make the selections for all of our bedding, our artwork, a light for the ceiling, and of course, to let our artist expert work her magic on all of the pieces of furniture and turn this into a spectacular and whimsical nursery. What do you do when you're working with a nursery that doesn't offer a lot of space? Well, in this case, we decided that every piece that was introduced into the room better really work well. So, Mom wanted a footstool to go with the rocking chair. What we decided to do was to turn this not only into a footstool, but also into a toy storage box for games and books and toys. It's a simple construction made for us by an upholsterer of 1/2 inch thick MDF covered in a fabric that complements the scheme in our chair. It measures 18 by 18 inches and is 16 inches high. It has a soft foam top, which provides a place for Mom to put her feet up and a place for baby's toys and games and books to be stored.
Well, the suspense is over. Martha had a girl. Now it's time for her sister Sarah to spring into action. Sarah is creating artwork and painting most of the furniture in the space as a gift to her new niece. She has chosen to go with a flower fairy theme in delicate, light watercolors. Sarah's inspiration is one of Martha's all-time favorite childhood stories.
So it's a girl, and we're going with the flower fairy theme, and that's all very exciting because I think it was very special to Martha to have that in the room.
Sarah's works will be based on a series of children's books that are more than 100 years old. Illustrations of flowers were associated with different letters of the alphabet, nursery rhymes, and various other themes.
I chose 2 different flower fairies. One of them is sort of a rose fairy because Martha loves roses. She's a huge fan of pink and green. As anyone who knows her well will know that or see that in her house. So I'm using a very soft, delicate, pale rose pink for this rose fairy. And a variety of greens, but there's a common pale aqua blue that was the undercurrent color for both boy or girl, depending on which one it was going to be. So we decided on that color, and that's going to be tied into all of the work in the room. So the watercolors is perfect medium to be working in for this because it's soft, it's watery, it's light, it's pale, it's oh so baby. So it's perfect, and it's going to be lovely in there. Really lovely. I can't wait to see it.
Not only did Sarah create artwork for the walls, but she also decorated the furniture by continuing the flower theme on the drawers of the chest, as well as intricate details on the knobs.
She's too young to appreciate it, but you know, it is tailored for her, and there is quite a bit of a personal, familial message in there because of the connection with the flower fairies and what it meant to my maternal grandmother and my mom. So when she's old enough, I'm sure my sister Martha will tell her how it came to be, which will be very, very special for her.
In addition to Sarah's talents with watercolors and painted furniture, she also paints bright, bold canvases in oil that have been well received at shows in North America and Europe.
It is a special experience for me to be making a custom room for Jacqueline because it's not anybody's room, it's my sister. And my sister is the greatest sister in the world. Of course, I'm biased, but she is, and she has been extremely supportive of me in my career. So it's very special to me to be able to get back and make this room, you know, top-notch and completely unique. It gives me a really good feeling, and it's gonna look gorgeous when it's done.
Next on room service, Martha unwraps her sister's gift for the nursery, and little Jacqueline gives her first room the once-over.
Are you ready to see your paintings, little one?
See, I think that's great. Hi, little poodly poo. Okay.
Little poodly.
Okay, here we go. Oh my god. Oh. Wow.
Okay, open the next one.
This is like the rose.
Oh, holy smokes. Okay, now I'm almost speechless. She's carried the essence of what we grew up with as very, very special stories to us in paintings that I just can't imagine being any more beautiful for her room.
The waiting is over, the surprise has been revealed, and I am happy to report that it's been 5 weeks since little Jacqueline was born, which is a good thing because it's given us enough time to complete this room in all the pretty girly details. So There is no doubt at this point that obviously the biggest feature, the real showpiece in this room is the 2 watercolor paintings that were done for Jacqueline by her Aunt Sarah, not me, and all of the painted furniture. And really everything else that we've done in this room is just provide a backdrop to support these paintings and make them look as beautiful as possible, which they do now that they're hung. Now onto the furniture. This is the change table that I made, and you'll see that Sarah has painted it with this beautiful striped border with little flowers and bows, Jacqueline's initial, her birth date, and then a striped treatment that carries down across the face of all of the drawers, each front done with a different motif, and each knob is done with a different type of flower. We are talking about attention to detail and incredible talent and passion that's gone into creating all of these pieces. There's a little table here which is Jacqueline's table. However, she's letting her mom use it right now as it sits beside the rocking chair that we made for Martha to nurse Jacqueline in.
I think Jacqueline will absolutely love her. Weren't you gonna love it, sweetheart? I know you are. She's going to love her painted furniture, which is just to die for.
We've brought in a 4-shelf storage tier here to act as display, but also to keep some important things close at hand. We've used really inexpensive baskets. We've painted the baskets white, and then we've added little liners in pink and green. Of course, it had to be. And we've also lined a little laundry hamper here. Now look at these little accessory pillows that we made. This is a soft green. This is actually a shirting fabric with a small pocket that's created using the extra fabric that we used for the duvet cover. Now I have to tell you, the search for the fabric for the duvet cover took us all the way to London, England, and we ordered it by mail, and it's now been made up with a pale pink backing, and it sets off the theme that runs throughout this entire room. I got to choose the light fixture from my shopping excursion that was all about being a little girl, and here it is. The flowers and all of the painted colors are exactly the same as the ones that run throughout the room, and it's also beautifully offset against that soft blue ceiling.
She's gonna be one lucky lady. Aren't you, monkey?
It's cozy, it's soft, it's pretty, and it's feminine, and it's a great, great place to be a baby girl. I'm Sarah Richardson. I hope you'll join me next time on Room Service.